What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hold on, let me see. Can we blow this up? Let me hold on. I'm blowing it over here. All right, it is what it is. I'll figure it out later. Here it is. That's just for me. It probably changed nothing for you guys, but it looks better for me. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. New video. Today, we're gonna do something I've never done before. We're having a guest on the channel as far as with it not being alive. And I mean, I've have done interviews before, but this is something I never done. The homie said yesterday after we did our video, he said, "Hey, let's chop it up a little bit about how we did time together and shit." And today I asked him, "What do you want to talk about?" And he said, "Let's talk about when I came back down from the Bay and I hit New Folsom, uh, because this man right here was on the other team. As far as when we got there was already a team in place, and we were viewed, me and the other guys that came down from the Bay were viewed a certain way. And I don't know exactly what it was. I heard from certain people, but today Robert wants to talk about this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so when I first met Dubs, you know, at that time it was during the first time that they had let everybody out from the Bay. Do you remember during the Castillo case?
It was, yes.
So they started kicking everybody out from the Bay. At that time, it was when you were validated. It was they weren't gonna let you out. Period.
Yeah.
But after this case, they started to let a lot of the people from the Bay out, and so we had kind of already heard, maybe like weeks in advance that people from the Bay were going to come and let's see if they were going to try to take over, stuff like that. I was still a youngster, so I was just listening to what the people that were above me were saying. And so I was like, all right, cool. So when it finally did happen, one of the things about the system is that the blackouts, they throw a lot of stuff on top of stuff. So they'll be like, oh yeah, these guys are coming, these things are gonna change. So they give you the worry because they're all about creating chaos. And as gullible as we were, of course we were sucking it all in. And so they were like, all right, well, let's check it out. Let's see what's up with these dudes. And then once they arrived, I mean, damn, you knew they were from the Bay because they were so pale. I mean, like, oh my goodness, they did not have nose. I mean, they look like vampires.
Hold up. I want to ask a question. There was two nicknames that we caught through the grapevine, what we were being referred to as. One of them has something to do with what you said. Do you remember the two nicknames your guys are? I don't know. Those guys named us.
The pale ones,
the pale faces,
and the high power bottles.
Well, what I was told was they're usually two nicknames for you, Vatos, eh? And they said the pale faces and the 8 block militia because we landed in 8 block and they were calling us the 8 block militia.
Yeah, you guys did.
There was 9 of us.
I do remember them saying that the 8 block militia, but when I first seen you guys roll up to the yard, I was like, man, they don't look like no damn militia. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really tripping on none of that. I don't know where they got the militia. Okay. You know what I mean? The pale ones.
Yeah, okay. No, but it did. It was funny because it like our landing there brought shockwaves to the yard, and we weren't there with bad intentions. We were there to make sure everything was done right. Period. But I don't want to interrupt. We'll go. I'll add as you speak.
No, and that's a fact. You guys did not go there with ill intent, and it was unfair because you guys had rolled up onto a yard where you guys had already had a jacket, and so you guys were already under the eagle eye, and people were just watching every little movements that you were doing, whether or not you guys grouped together, and you guys would actually do that. From my own observation, I would see you guys separate, do your own thing. And then you guys would always come together at the bar area. And it was kind of a trip because when I seen you at the bar area, I was like, he definitely don't belong there. But you know what I mean? Everybody's building it up. Everybody's building it up at that time, And I don't know if you remember the name. As much as we were tripping on you guys, not me in particular, because like I said, I was still young. And so I was just hearing what these dudes were telling me. But, I've never really judged a book by its covers, as much as a lot of other people did, because I was still being introduced into the system. But I don't know if you remember, like I went up to you with the bar, and I was with another homie who was yard crew. I don't know if you remember. C.
I don't
He was the
remember.
buff dude. He was a real buff dude.
I don't remember him.
Okay, well we were working out, and then I went up to you and I was like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And then I started clowning you right away.
Yeah.
Do you
You
remember?
probably did.
I was like, no, I went up to you. You probably remember, and I was
Because I
like, "Man,
remember
what's up?"
you were trying to crack jokes with me.
Yeah, I was like, "What's up, McFly?" I was like, "What's up,
Nah, you
McFly?"
did not open up with that,
But boy, I
homie.
called you
You're not gonna
McFly,
rewrite history like
and I
that.
called you Millhouse. Those were the first two names. I was like, "What's up,
Ah,
McFly? What's up, Millhouse?" You know what I'm saying?
so you guys know that's because oh shit, who's calling? I can't take that call. Sorry about that. Everybody, please hold on, let me just okay, yeah, he knows. Please subscribe and watch Food and Fallons. That's who called me right now. But you should call me that. But so you guys know, coming out of the shoe, we all had those Buddy Holly glasses, the big thick rim. And remember, Vatos used to, they weren't even in the bay and they wanted those glasses. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Go
those were
get
the
you a shoe
glasses
term
to
and get
wear.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the designer
Um,
glasses.
but as far as us, okay, as far as us landing there and then grouping up, of course we did because we knew each other, right? And we went into a facility where historically Raza from Southern California couldn't stay. But I had, cleared everything before I left. It what's expected. This, I already talked about it before. But what I think we told you later, but when we first got there, the vatos that were already in play, all of their bloqueros, as soon as we got there, they came running to us. This is who has the yard. This is what they've been allowing. This is what we don't want problems with you guys. So they basically turned on them dudes immediately. And so we knew from when we got there, the Huila that we got, the way that they introduced themselves, they were very secretive, and it was funny because they were asking for so much detail that we were like, who in the fuck are these bottles? It was too much detail on the first week. Like, we were like, man, fuck that. And we told the dude that had the block, hey, they can holler at us on the yard. Fuck, because it was just so weird. You know what I mean? We're like, they can holler because we knew word had already been sent, at least for me. Hey, this dude's coming. And W, the one that wanted with us on the crew, on our crew, he told me like, "Oh yeah, we had got word." So it was just a weird thing, man. I knew that they knew I was coming. The care package was shit, So it was just a bad taste when we got there. We're like, "Damn, something ain't right here." So we went out there knowing like, we don't know what these vatos are doing. We come in peace, but we're ready for war. You know how it is when you get to places like that.
Yeah, especially when you're coming with a reputation that precedes you, and granted, it wasn't a reputation that was that fit your character, because at this time it was being washed. It was through the mud and all kinds of other stuff, because they had already thrown a jacket on you about those, as what you guys were
As
doing,
far as
what you guys
what?
were doing out here, and what you guys were trying to
Oh
accomplish.
yeah, yeah, that we were trying to take over. Yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah.
which none of it was true.
It
Um,
wasn't true, and I just noticed my shirt is hanging on the chair. You guys don't get on me for that. But real quick, the very first conversation I had with D, right? When I went out there, it was actually
yeah,
D and J. P was not there for the first one, right? The first conversation I had with them too is I told them, listen, I'm not here to rock the boat. I'm not here. I don't even want a headache around here. I said, I'm gonna have me a little esquina. I'm gonna make feria. That's where my head is. I'm gonna make some feria, take care of my responsibilities and obligations. I said, if you vatos need advice, you can ask me whatever. I said, but these things that I'm hearing about from your own crew have to change. Like, respectfully, things have to get tight because it can't be like this. Because I remember getting there when I moved from 8 block to 3 block. Bottles were sleeping in the daytime. Bottles were slamming in the shower. You know what I mean? There was really like people were walking wherever they wanted on the yard. I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? It just wasn't secure. So I was like, how can we even make feria in a place so unsecured? So we had to secure it first, and then we start making money. So, but from the very first conversation, I told them, hey, I don't even want your damn job. I don't know who wants that headache. You know what I'm saying? But and shit wound up happening, and you know we did what
yeah,
we
no,
did.
you definitely showed up at a time where things were complacent. I wasn't in a position to communicating my opinions as I was
Mm-hmm.
still young. I was still learning. I was still understanding the process. I had just got kicked out of Corcoran Shoes, so this
Mm-hmm.
was this was the very first yard that I had ever been on where I was invited to be a part of things. And when I say a part of things, um, it wasn't a direct approach as to
Mm-hmm.
being influential. I was more of on a backseat because I was still
Mm-hmm.
learning,
Mm-hmm.
and these were the people that I was learning under. But even the stuff that you were talking about, I myself was seeing, and I would talk
Mm-hmm.
to P about it, and I'd be like, "Hey man, like what's up with this? What's up with that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this. I don't see that we should continue in this way." However, it wasn't something that they were willing to change as far
Mm-hmm.
as these policies, because during this time, I don't know if I'm sure you remember, it wasn't a group collective. It was still under the one
Yeah.
person dictating everything. And so we really tried to just allow him to do what he needed to do, as long as nobody was getting hurt. However,
Mm-hmm.
from the way that you guys were seeing things and how I can look at things from hindsight, I can say yes, the way that we were living was only a matter of time where we were going to get it moved on. It was only a matter of time where we were going to
Mm-hmm.
create chaos within another race, because of the fact that we were freely moving around and not really
Mm-hmm.
going out of our means to protect other people that were walking around the tracks by themselves. So it was a learning process for me, and that's where we started to begin. And I think that within time, I did talk to you a lot about the, because I remember I was the first one to open up to you. It wasn't something that
Mm-hmm.
you didn't come out asking questions. You didn't try to
Mm-hmm.
say what's going on here. The only one that ever did was B. And because of B, he was the one that really put a shadow of doubt with you guys, because he was always in other people's business. He was always trying to talk about certain things, and we were looking at him, and I understand
Which
you
B?
said
The
he
one that
had,
was my selling? That
yeah,
B? Okay.
yeah. He was the one that was really
He was an idiot,
creating,
man. He was an
he was
idiot.
creating conflict, bro. He was creating conflict, and I understand that he had a past, but I've looked at him the same way that I've always looked at him. I thought he was just a punk ass fool, um, and I felt that he was trying to kind of press his weight a little bit, and I'm like, dude, you don't even got shoulders. Like, how you gonna be pressing your weight? I was always tripping on him from the jump. That's why our relationship never really it never really got tight, because he was always in the way. He
He
was
was
always in the
he
way, bro.
was he was taking advantage of being my celly. It's all it was. I
Mm,
mean, I even had to, in front of the canteen, there was a homie, and my celly spoke to that dude in a way that pissed me off, and I had to call him on it. I mean, it was one of those things. I had to do it on the spot in front of that homie, and I asked my own celly. I said, "Hey, who the fuck are you? Like, are you, a legend? I said, are you one of them that we don't know about?" And he was like, tripped on me, right? And I told him, "You don't fucking talk to nobody like that. What the fuck is wrong?" But I knew what it was, is he was lightweight trying to be a bully, because he thought, because he was my celly, which everybody knows that don't mean shit who your celly is. Your conduct is your fucking conduct, and you're going to be held accountable for it. But yeah, he was an idiot, man.
yeah, and ultimately, he was the one that really was starting things.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I don't know if you remember, even when he did get himself the porter job when we were in 3 block. Hey man, that dude was passing around mayo and all kinds of other stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, he's over
Yeah.
here doing the job of the black guy. So it was something that
Yeah.
hey, we always
That
stood
was
back
mind
because
blowing.
yeah, we always felt that this dude was a snitch, bro. We always like, nah, man,
Mm-hmm.
this dude is going around. He's doing something. He's doing things that he shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And because he had a mouth on him, we always had to be like, man, what's up with this dude? But because he was your celly, it was it was the unfortunate thing where we had to just be like, they're both juntos. They're trying to figure out things together. And obviously that wasn't the case,
Mm-hmm.
but he really put a bad light on you. And one of the things that I didn't like about him is that because I was young, he was always trying to test my education. He was always trying to see how smart I was. He was trying to always see whether or not I had a nugget on my head and what type of glitcher that I had come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to feel like
Mm-hmm.
they're being berated by somebody that
Mm-hmm.
thinks they're above them. And so because of that, it was a really bad feeling that I got from him. And I remember there were certain times I don't when you remember when you came to get the radio from the pad. um,
Mm-mm.
and you came real quick, like, hey man, do you have a radio? Because P had told you to come pick it up, and I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Aren't you here to pick up the radio? Like, I snapped on you, right? And I remember you just looking at me, right? Because I was a youngster, just like, and you shook your head and you just walked away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I think about it now. I'm like, damn, like, look at how much patience you had with me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Even for, I mean, and that time we were drinking, and so and you came during the time that we had the doors open. We were drinking in the day room. We were drinking,
Oh, I think I kind of remember that shit. Yeah.
yeah. We were getting fig. We were
Yeah.
making white lining. We were selling
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And
Um,
I think I went and told Pete, like, hey, homie, you take care of it. You know what I mean? Like, don't. I figured like maybe there was a miscommunication, so I was like, man, fuck all that.
yeah, and what it was, like I said, it was just that I was already tripping on B. So because of that, I was like, man, here comes this Fulio. And as you were walking, and this was, I think we had already had like 8 months on the yard together. So it was the beginning of a friendship that was already dying down because of the way I was feeling about B, and because you were so close to me and yourself, I was like, man, they're just over there comardeando and inside the pad, talking about us and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm cool with this dude. And because I wasn't allowed to really reflect upon it myself because I had so many different people in my ear, it was just compounding what I was already thinking,
Hmm.
right? And in part, when it came to D, man, yeah, that dude was a dumbass from the jump. He was just that
That
was
Vato.
his position was the position that was at Tecato's dream. I mean, he was like,
Yeah,
hell,
yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah.
I
And not only that,
stars, I can die all day.
hey,
Remember, he
not
wasn't
a
making money.
nothing. Hey, and then he would go to visit and tell his lady, I run this. I do and
Yes.
we were like, who the fuck? Like, why would you tell your lady that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what's she got to do with it? It was just everything about him was just a bad look. And then, because we're gonna have to cut this short, we're at 17 minutes. But when we got there, one of the first things they told us about, and you probably remember this, that dude G, that one that had said he was a legend and was
Oh,
on
yeah.
that. Yes,
We were
that
getting.
was
I
the
was getting
dude.
to that point. That was that. That
That's
was
the
the.
dude. That's the
Yeah.
dude I pushed. Like they were like, well, he's not here no more. I said, if he comes back, that bottle has to go. And I remember D saying, hey man, but what if he really is a legend? I said, what, the way that bottle's acting, like you really think that's possible? That like from what I heard, this dude was doing. And I
Yeah.
told him, look, if you don't do it, I'm gonna have to do it. I said, and if I have to do it, they're gonna want to know, first of all, why did you come back already? You just fucking left. I said, and second of all, when they hear what the dude was claiming to be, and that you let him bounce around and then leave and come back, and I said, that's gonna be your career, homie.
Man, I remember when he first rolled up, and we were hearing about him smoking and all that stuff in other blocks, right?
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
talking about.
yes,
And so I was
yes.
like, I told P, because remember I had just got kicked out of Corcoran shoe. I was like, hey fool, I'll do it. Don't even trip. I got this. I had told D the same thing, and D didn't like me, so I was like, hey, I got this, man. Don't even trip. Let's go ahead and put this in motion. But it was P that was saying, nah, you just got out, fool. You're supposed to be learning. And for me, I was like, man, this is a come up and shit. Let me go in and handle this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anyhow, I was told not to do it. And I remember specifically when they did ask that other dude to go in and handle the Halle. Man, I don't even know why they asked it, because you seen the
I know
you
why
seen
they
the
asked him.
yeah, you seen the coward in him right away. And
Well,
maybe that was one of their ploys of saying, so they can go ahead and get this dude off and we can continue to get our business. Because remember at that time they used to lock us down for a long time when we were doing a
yeah.
pegada until that
Mm-hmm.
lawsuit came out. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's what it was, that in hindsight, maybe they wanted that bottle to get caught, because we would go on we would have to go on a 4 month lockdown, and this fool could continue to go out there to see his girl.
No, okay, so after they asked that idiot to do the Hadley. Then he locked up
Yeah.
and told them who he was supposed to hit. So that what we found out later was this, and I don't know if you even ever heard about it. That same vato had been asked to do a pegada on B yard
I heard.
and locked it up and locked up. And that's how he wound up on C yard. We never knew this. We thought everybody had been cleared, done their homework. So when it came out, then vatos from B facility got at me like, "Hey, Holmes, that vato did that shit before already." So in my mind, it was D knew what this vato was going to do, and he was going to kill two birds with one stone. That vato he asked should have been hit as soon as he hit the yard. They
Yeah.
disregarded information that came from the oil. They let him stick around, and then they killed two birds with one stone and get to not go on lockdown. But if you remember, after that, well, I don't even know if you know, we started putting more heat on D. Like, hey, homie, and then all of a sudden, just that weird thing where him and his Sally wanted going to B facility. Remember?
Yeah.
Gave up
Yeah.
their position and everything.
Yeah. Volunteered. They volunteered to go to
Yes.
a B facility,
Yes.
which kind of threw me off. I was like, what was that all about? Because he wasn't supposed to be
Because we were putting heat on him over that vato claimed to be a legend, homie. You let him slip away. You asked this vato who had fucking skeletons to do it. Like, what was this all about? And I think Pete told him like, hey, these vatos are gonna get serious with you soon. Because why in the fuck you have that position? Why would you give it up? That's like unheard of.
Yeah.
Especially in that era, in that system where it was a one person system. A lot of vatos were tyrants in that. They thought they were gods somehow. You know what I mean? So for him to do it, he knew it was coming. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead. If you guys want a part two, we can finish up this story. We're both a little older. We might not even remember the fucking story if we try to do a part two. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Right. You're a little bit older than I, so you know what I mean.
A little bit.
I think
But anyways,
I think I got this. Your memory's kind of
okay.
it's kind of shitty, bro.
My memory, no. Keep it real about my memory, fool.
My boy,
Keep it real.
boy. Put it like this. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I don't know. I know you're using Rogaine, bro, because all this stuff was white when we were busted, bro. So I don't even know.
It's not
and then your
Rogaine,
eyebrows,
homie.
my boy, you didn't even have them. You didn't even have eyebrows.
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure you just
He's ruining the end of the video. We were so good. And this vato
magic.
He said,
is that what that is?
Check this out. This vato said, I'm dyeing my beard with Rogaine. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not even a hair dye.
No, your beard. Your beard, bro.
Hey,
your beard. But that's cool how you transferred it like that.
That's not, dye, Rogaine grows your hair. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. If you want a part two, make sure you comment in the video part two. Let's get this video 1,500 likes. Let's run it up. Share the video with people you think will find it interesting. Let's force YouTube to put us in the algorithm. Check out the homie's channel. You see his name right there. That is the name of his channel. We're probably going to be dropping
something later today. I'm dropping something later today. Something that you had talked about already. But I'm just touching it from my memory. Like I said, you are able to fill in a lot more details. So,
my memory is a gift and a curse because I remember pretty much everything. But anyways, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. Let me figure out how to get out of here. Hold on, I gotta. Yeah, that's right. All right,